My name is Fernanda Borba, and I am a Regional Director of Campus Operations for the West Coast at Amerigo. That means that I oversee all of our schools on the West Coast, and I have been working with international students for probably almost 20 years now. My key responsibility is to make sure that all of our team members that are located at each of our schools are providing the best support to all of our international students. I also ensure that our families are receiving the experience that they are expecting to receive from us, and that we are keeping them updated with the outcomes and with the achievements of their students. And overall, my job is to make sure that every single student is happy, is safe, and that is receiving what they have signed up for. I think that the transition coming from a different country to the United States, for some students is very natural. They may have like a more outgoing personality, so they just come in and they start making friends, and that happens very quick. But that is actually the exception to the rule. What we see the most is that it takes a little while for the kids to get adjusted. I mean, we're talking about different culture, different food, a different school, different friends. There's so many different things that they receive all at once. My advice to parents and students is always to take one day at a time, and the friendships and getting adjusted with the school and getting adjusted with the academics will come, but it's not overnight. It takes some time. Don't give up. Just take one day at a time. What we see actually is that when the kids come in August, and they go, through the months of the fall slowly, and they start getting adjusted, and then they go home for the winter break. And when they come back with a whole different personality and demeanor about the program. Like they walk into the room like they own the room, like they are now used to the school, they're now used to the dormitory or with the host family, and they just belong. So it's very nice to see that transition between them coming in the fall versus them coming back in the winter. One of the greatest programs that we have at Amerigo at all the schools that we work with is that each school, all of our signature schools, they have the international department, and part of the international department is the academic department as well. So every international student at our signature schools, they take academic reading and composition classes. What that means is it's sort of similar to an ESL class, but a little bit better. So our students are not just learning how to speak English, they're learning how to speak English in the school environment. We are helping them on getting ready and prepared to write essays, to read as good as domestic students. And while we're doing that, we're introducing English as a second language as well. All of our team members are very experienced with international students, and we understand that it takes time for them to adjust. And during that process, it's very important that we are aware the waves that the kids are going to go through, as well as the needs they're going to have. So we start at the very beginning. When we welcome the students, we take them to get their uniforms, we have their books ready for them, we have their technology for the school ready for them. So when the kids come in, they don't need to worry about any of that. All they need to worry about is to wake up in the morning and start going to school. We also understand that kids are going to have homesickness at the beginning when they first arrive. So that's what we do. Our international department folks, whether it's at the residence or at the school, they kind of become the new parents or the borrowed parents for the kids, that if they're going through a bit of a tough time with making friends or adjusting to the school, they always have someone, an adult, that they can speak with. They can always go to the classroom where we have our Amerigo staff members at, or at the dormitory. There's always at least 2 people there for them to speak with should they have any problems whatsoever. So I think having that adult that is there specifically to support and advocate for our students is very important, not only for the kids, but also for the families. As a mother myself, I find it to be extremely important to know that there is someone on the other side of the world taking care of my child. And that's what we do at all of our signature schools. I think there are several stories, right? I think one that kind of comes to mind involves the fact that it's important for the students to be holistically developed, and that's the angle that we take at Amerigo. It's not just about the academics, but it's also about their social, emotional, and what some of the programs that they are participating at school. So one of our students, a boy, he was transferring from a different school, actually already in the United States, and he just didn't do well at that school. When we came in and we interviewed him, I knew that he was going to have some challenges, but I knew that our team could support him. And sure enough, that's what we did. The director kind of took him under his wings, as we say, and had several conversations with the students to understand where we could meet the student at. He was having some academic challenges. He was having some behavior challenges because I think he was having such a hard time fitting in. That was coming out as behavior problem. He didn't want to go to school. He didn't want to participate in clubs or sports. And at the end, he was just being more shy and reserved than anything else. And our director was able to pick that up and just kind of brought him in and had conversations with him, really mentored and guided him on how to become a better version of himself. When he had issues with teachers at the school, the director would take him to the school and speak with the teacher. When he was having some conflict with his friends, the director would do some mediation conversations with him and the other students and kind of arrive in a better place. And today, he's actually playing wrestling for the school and is doing really well. His academics are doing really well, but he has taken us 6 months to almost a year. He has returned to be an Amerigo student again. And this year is much easier because now he knew that that was home for him and that he knew that people there would never give up on him, that we would continue to work and support him to see him grow into like a better adult, a better child. And soon enough, in a couple of years, he's going to be getting into a very good university, I have no doubt about. I don't think there is a program similar to that in any other schools. I have worked with international students, as I said, for about 20 years. I think the big differentiator that Amerigo has is the fact that we have our staff members at the school. And not only those staff members are Amerigo staff members, but they become the school members. So all of the Amerigo folks that are at the school, they're viewed by the faculty and by the school administration, as well as by the students as part of the school. But our international students are lucky to have those people that are focused on supporting them. So while a guidance counselor or a head of a department is, of course, supporting all students at the school, the international department is supporting international students. So as opposed to the focus on 200, 300, 400 students, we're focused on a handful of kids. And I think that's where it makes a difference. And that's why we can achieve the outcomes that we can. And that's why we can now guarantee that all of Amerigo students will get into a top 100, top 50 universities in America. I think that's very important. As a mother, again, if my child is going abroad, there's so much uncertainty and you don't know if they had breakfast, you don't know if they're eating dinner, you don't know if they're studying. And the only way to know that is when a parent is connected with the school. And that's what we do. We have groups of conversations with parents where some of our teachers are there, as well as the directors of our programs. And we're giving the parents updates updates almost on a daily basis if it's needed. If a student is at a time that they need more help, the communication with the parents can sometimes be daily. Just we're telling them, let's give an example. If a student is sick, we're telling the parents every day, your student woke up not feeling well today and they had a fever. We gave them medicine. We're going to be taking them to the doctors. Upon their return, we let the parents know what was the diagnosis and the care that we're going to be giving the student. So that's how close we are with the parents. With the academics, we're sending academics results to the parents on a regular basis, and we're also giving suggestions on how the students can improve the academics, whether it is part of what we support the students with, or even if the students need help with outside resources, we also give the parents those suggestions. So I would say that all of our parents at Amerigo are very, very in touch with our Amerigo staff in the United States, and they're getting updated on a regular basis about the daily lives of their students. One is feeling nervous is a good thing, because I think that if you're feeling nervous, it's because you're excited. And I also think that going abroad is going to be the best experience of your life. You are not only going to grow academically, but you're also going to grow as a person. And we see that every day. You're going to make friends. They're going to be your friends for the rest of your life. You're going to learn a different culture, not only of the United States, but because you're going to have friends from different parts of the world, you're going to learn all kinds of cultures. What we see a lot is that kids come in and they make these friends, and then they graduate from high school and they come back to visit us as a group, because that's the close connection that they have. We see now pictures of them on social media. They're all in college, but they are still hanging out with the friends that they have made here in the States. So it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be apprehensive, but just take the step, because we are here to support you throughout your journey.